Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am live from Atlanta this morning, and if some of you on Clubhouse may be familiar with Otis James, and he is doing a real estate seminar in in Atlanta this morning, and so I am here attending that. But I had to meet with you. I wasn't here last Sunday because I was in Orlando, and I said, and people kept telling me, "We missed you, we missed you." So I can't take a day off. I've got to do the show, and then I can attend the conference. All right, and and my engineer is going to tell me, Don, I hear that air conditioning in the background. So as soon as he comes on and gets everything switched over, there you go. Kurt, let me know when we get things switched over. Um, because I've got to shut off that background noise. Credit Goddess, how are you doing this morning? All right, so we'll get that done and that done. There we go. I'm in Atlanta today with Otis, and I just saw him this morning. Um, and Kurt's getting everything switched over for me so we can switch the audio over. So I don't want to get into anything. So right now, folks, if you have any questions about finances, any questions about loans, any questions about mortgages, student loans, anything like that right now, before we get started, I don't want to get into something and then have to when we switch over. So go ahead and um, so do we have our audio on our live stream, Kurt? Because I can't tell. Let me go here. I've got four people on. Can you guys hear me on the live stream? If you can, let me know in the comment section. Okay, all right, sounds fine. Great, 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 great. All right, so I guess we're doing okay. Kurt, do can we do it like this and keep my mic open, or how are we doing it? Anyway, I'll just go ahead and he'll chime in if he needs to break up anything and let me know. All right, folks, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good morning. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And today I'm from Huntsville, Alabama, but today I'm live from uh, Atlanta, and I'm here attending the real estate seminar put on by Otis James. And if you've been on Clubhouse, and if you've been in the real estate rooms, you may know who he is. So, folks, here's what we're going to do this morning. We're talking about, all right, interest costs. We're talking about is the bank.
Something just happened
I got to turn the volume down on
on
my.
my.
There we
There we
go.
go.
All right, we're switching things over.
Yeah, on
All right.
Clubhouse, we
All right.
probably need you to turn
Can
the
you guys
mic
Can you
off.
still
guys
hear
still
me
hear me?
on? Can you guys still hear me? All right. Okay. All right. Marco, buying a house in
In
Connecticut
Connecticut,
under
under
contract,
contract and
searching
searching
for
Still
for a
hearing you
lender.
twice.
lender.
Still hear me
Still hear me
twice?
twice?
Yeah,
What
What
do
do
I
I
have
have
is
to
to
your
do?
do?
mic on in Clubhouse?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's turn that off.
Okay.
Okay.
How about now? We good?
Yeah, I can hear you clean.
All right, man. Listen, Kurt, I don't know what I'd do without you, man.
We can't hear him over here, though.
Okay,
Oh,
okay, 1 second. Let's make sure. Let me get that set up.
okay.
Go ahead and talk now, Don.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. All right. Can everybody hear me on Clubhouse and
So,
on? Go ahead.
Credit Goddess, can you guys hear him now?
No.
Okay, hold on. Uh,
All right. Marco says that he can still hear me on the live
on YouTube.
stream. Yep, on YouTube. That's good. All right, folks, we're going to get this thing straightened out.
Okay. What about now? To say something, Don?
All right, Clubhouse, can you hear me?
No, his mic is off on
Yeah,
Clubhouse.
he'll come through my mic,
Oh, okay, okay.
but you're
Yeah.
still not hearing him, right?
No.
Okay.
All right, folks, we're going to get it fixed. And as soon as we get that sound fixed, we're going to be ready. We're going to be rocking and rolling. All right.
Okay.
Let the folks know on Clubhouse what's going on, Kurt, because they can
All
only
right.
hear
On
you.
on Clubhouse, we are just working on getting the audio for Don set up. He's traveling this week and still wanted to do the show, but I'm having to do the Clubhouse piece from my side. So we're just getting some of those pieces set up, and we're hoping to have that set up in just a second here. So, Don, go ahead and try and speak again.
Testing 1, 2. Are you
Yeah,
hearing me on Clubhouse?
Yep.
there
All
we
right.
go.
But I'm hearing, I've got my headset on, and let's see, what can I do about that, Kurt?
I
Is
don't
there
know
anything?
what do you mean? I'm not hearing anything. I'm hearing
Okay,
it's clean on my side.
I'm hearing myself. So is there a way I can keep from doing that?
You're going to need to turn your audio down on your phone.
Okay, let's see. All right, how's that?
Well, I'm not hearing anything. It's clean on my side.
Can you hear me?
I'm Yeah, we can hear you.
Well, if I do that, then I can't hear.
You've got to listen on StreamYard, Don.
Okay, I'll listen on StreamYard.
Yeah, you got to listen on StreamYard. Can you hear me on StreamYard? Let me see what you got.
Okay, folks,
Y-
how's
All right.
that?
What? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. All right, Credit Goddess?
Can hear you. Yep.
Great. Okay, we got it.
I still
We
feel
got it.
like there's a bit of an echo somewhere.
Okay.
Your phone is on, but audio is turned off, correct?
Right.
And those headphones
I
are plugged into the computer.
No, my headphones was plugged into the. How's it? Okay, how's that?
I'm still hearing a bit of an echo.
Hold on for a second. Let me see if I can fix this.
You don't you
I've got to turn this on so I can turn this all the way down. Hold on for a second. I got to fix Clubhouse.
Okay.
All
All right.
right. Audio quality. All right. How's my sound now? Is you still getting the echo?
No, it's clean now.
All right, good. So on Clubhouse, if you turn the music quality to if you change the audio quality to music, you can turn your volume all the way down on Clubhouse. In case you guys didn't know that, you know how you got it playing in the background, and you just don't want to hear anything, but you still want to be on stage or whatever. You can switch that over and turn your volume all the way down. We just did that,
All right, good.
and let me see if let me get my other headset. Kurt, go ahead and we're going to introduce yourself. Credit Goddess, introduce yourself. I got to get a new headset for my computer. Be right back.
All right, Credit Goddess, you want to go first? If not, I'll go.
You can go first.
All right. Well, everybody, my name is Kirk Nugent. I get a chance to serve as your producer for this show 3 days a week. That is Sundays, 8:30 to 10:30, Wednesdays and Fridays, 7 to 9. Of course, I'm speaking about the Central Time Zone. The Pill Method crew is probably the most consistent space that Don has created online, period. I was going to say on Clubhouse, but honestly, it's not just Clubhouse. He's all over. He's on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube, and he's growing in all of those spaces by leveraging the power of live video. And actually, that's actually what I do. So I'm not a mortgage expert, a finance expert. He is the interest cancellation expert. I know that's who you came to hear. But if you've got a business, brand, if you are a coach, consultant, thought leader, speaker, even if you're aspiring, you may want to tap into the power of live video to be able to take what it is you do, your secret sauce, your superpower, your gifting and anointing, to take that to shine it on a hill, right? To let everybody know what it is you do and how you do it. And I would love an opportunity to chat with you about that. So definitely hit me up. My 10K card is in my bio there on Clubhouse, kirk10klive.com. I'm going to throw it on screen for those that are watching online. I see we have 6 people watching online. I want to say welcome to you guys. And but yeah, if you want to leverage the power of live video the way that Don is doing it, definitely tap in with me. Would love to sit down, have a discovery call with you, talk about your vision, what your message is, and if it's a good fit for us to work together. Done for you and DIY options are available. So we will train your team if you already have one. We will get you set with stream assets if that's what you need, or we'll produce your entire show similarly to what we do for Don. Of course, Don gets the gold standard package. So what Don gets, don't expect to get anywhere. But excited to be here, excited for the content today. Don is back on screen, but I'm going to hand it over to Credit Goddess for her to do her introduction.
I always enjoy listening to you speak, Kirk. Thank you. Hey, everyone. My name is Rosa Lord Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess. I am all things credit. I'm a credit score improvement strategist, a business credit consultant, and also the official credit expert for the P.I.L.L Method crew here. I assist my clients in improving their credit, not only repair, because there are 2 parts to getting your credit improved. First, you have to repair it. If there's anything that's reporting inaccurately that can cause your scores to be affected, that is the repair. If you don't have enough credit, if you have what they say, what's the line? Credit profile is too thin, meaning that there's not enough history. You want to know how to improve it so that way you can get to get approved and not denied. Of course, that does take time, and in that time, you have to educate yourself so that way you know what to do, how to improve your credit throughout the time. Because once you're done with my program, this is where you need to know how to maintain it. The education is very, very important in this process, especially for those that have no idea of how to improve their credit. That is what I do. I educate. That's what we all need, right? So it's a 2-part service with me. Also, as you improve your credit and your credit is where it needs to be, you can now leverage that to establish business credit. When you're establishing business credit and you being the owner, your business has to go through the same process as well. It needs to be optimized. It needs to be improved. It needs to be solid. And to tap into business credit cards, of course, your personal credit has to be where it needs to be. It's almost like co-signing for your business, right? So the business owner's credit has to be up to par to tap into the business credit card so that way you can use that to pay for employees, pay for equipment, inventory, materials, supplies, things like that, to grow and scale your business to corporate credit. That's the next level, okay, in business. When you're scaling to $1.5 million, you have employees. Now you are in the corporate status where you now can tap into corporate credit. So it's scaled, is a scalability in business from business credit to corporate credit. And that's what I teach as well. So if you guys are interested in learning how you can put your business in position for that, definitely tap into me. The number is in my bio. And for those that are watching on the other platform, the number is 888-557-5778. That's 888-557-5778. Send your name and email address there. A link will be provided to you where you can join my group consultation. You can join the individual consultation if you want me to speak to you one on one about your credit situation and how we can improve it to get where it needs to be. So definitely tap in with me. Send your name and email address to the number in my bio, 888-557-5778. Talk to you soon.
Excellent, excellent. I'm handing it back over to Don right now, but I just want to say a word of thanks to all of you for your patience as we got everything set up in the room today. There's 31 of you here now. 76 have passed through the room. Want to make sure you guys get a chance to share what's about to happen. And then in addition to that, I'm looking at the comments online from Facebook and YouTube. Is it Marco, Saved by Grace? And we have Maura White Howard out there. Then we also have Wealth Builder on YouTube saying good morning. Some of them just kind of giving us that audio check. Some of them telling us, hey, we're fine with audio. The echo went away. Just want to say a word of appreciation for you guys. Look, technical issues are a part of the game, right? But how you manage them, how you're able to handle them, kind of determines whether or not your show can be successful. That's a lot of what we also teach and share here at Composition. That's the name of my business. And I'm excited to turn this thing back over to Don. You guys are in for a treat today. If you've never been in the room before, go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat. Doesn't matter if you're on social, if you're on Clubhouse, go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat. We want to know if you're new, if you are brand new, if you're a P.I.L.L method baby. We want to make sure we know and identify you. Don, go ahead and come off mute. But we want to identify you right now and let you know that we appreciate you for coming through today. And Don, the P.I.L.L method, the Iceman himself, is ready to go. Go ahead.
All right. Listen, folks, this is so exciting today. And Kurt is right. Live, being on live, it definitely has its benefits. But when you have a teacher like Kurt says, listen, we're going to get it done. It's just a matter of plugging this thing in here and plugging this thing in here, and
There it
you
is.
just stay patient and things go. Listen, don't get bent out of shape, okay? We're going to be here for 2 whole hours getting this information to you. So I want to know from Clubhouse and from the streaming services. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, I want to know where you all are from. Where are you coming from? All right. So put it in the chat if you're on Clubhouse. If you're streaming on your favorite social media platform, tell us where you are from. All right. Where's everybody from? All right. So I see here. I'm looking for it. Listen, Pierce. I'm from Battle Creek. Pierce is from Detroit. Detroit in the house. I grew up in Battle Creek, and then I moved to Huntsville, Alabama. D Villa from Connecticut. All right. San Antonio, Texas in the house. Lori Evans, Ohio. All right. So we got Ohio, we got San Antonio, we've got Connecticut. Oh, wow. Okay. So folks coming from all over. Where else is everybody else from? Now, folks, don't lose an opportunity to share this room. Okay. Because we're going to, Merle Whitehead is from PA. We've got Lamb from New Jersey. All right. Listen, share this information out. Share it if you're on the streaming service, share it. If you're in Clubhouse, share it. Share it, because we are going to drill down and let you know that what you have been taught by borrowing money from the bank for 88 years. 88 years. We have been charged way more interest than we need to pay. Way more. At least 75% more. Okay? And for instance, if you're supposed to pay $100,000 in interest, you're only supposed to be paying around $25,000. What? That's right. So we're going to talk about that. If you're supposed to pay on your real estate investment project, maybe around $300,000, maybe you should be only paying around 90,000 or 100,000. I've got one real estate investor is supposed to pay $1.2 million. $1.2 million in interest We had him down just over 200,000. He's not even going to pay $300,000 in interest, and the bank wanted him to pay 1.2 million to acquire the same asset. So, folks, are we being robbed when it's like being robbed with a pen? All right. Somebody says, okay, we're going to put this in writing. But when you're okay. Now, this guy was making money hand over fist, even with this particular interest rate, which is 5%, which is 5% on one of the mortgages, over $1 million. But they wanted over $1 million in interest from him at 5%. Oh my gosh. We got that thing all the way down to under $300,000. So if anybody is wondering, have you ever wondered why is it so expensive to borrow money, even at so-called low interest rates? If you've ever wondered about that, put a number 9 in the chat. Put a number 9 in the chat if you've ever wondered about why it's so expensive to borrow money. When we're even at the lower interest rates, it's still a high interest cost. Oh my gosh, Rose has got a number 9. Charnay has got a number 9. Brenda Jackson's got triple nines. Doggone it, Brenda. What's going on with you? So anybody else? If you've ever wondered, and online we got D. Okay, we got other folks online putting in their number 9s. Okay, so we're going to get into this. I want to show you this, but first, okay, we want to do a quick reset. All right. And I want to tell you that you want to go ahead and let's see. Oh, good. Thanks. All right. So go ahead now, folks, and share the room. Share the room. And if you're on Clubhouse, go ahead and click that green mansion at the top. Click that green mansion at the top so that you can know what's going on here. All right. So click the green mansion at the top and join the club. Join the club. If you're following us on any other streaming services, please follow us or subscribe, depending on where you are. All right. Like the videos. Put a thumbs up. If you like this video, put a thumbs up. Listen, when you do that, that affects our algorithm and more people are able to see it. All it is a thumbs up. Click the thumbs up. I'm learning all this stuff, okay? Even at my age, all right? I'm not going to tell you how old I am. You're just going to have to guess. All right? Maybe it'll come out later, all right? So what we're doing now is I'm going to get into this, but I want to share with you someone who has learned the secret of paying off a mortgage cheap. So, folks, we're not paying off this debt fast. We're paying off the debt cheap. I need you to write the word cheap in the chat. I need you to write it in the comments if you're online. We're paying off debt cheap. We're not paying it off fast, because when you focus on paying it off cheap, you automatically pay it off fast because more of your money goes to principal, the money that you actually borrowed. We're going to show you what's going on with this and how the bank is taking that money, even though you are making serious money as a real estate investor. You know people who are making serious money as a real estate investor. If you're not a real estate investor and you are buying your home, okay, you got a 30-year loan, you're buying your home and you want to do things cheaply, and before you get away, all right, I want you to know, here's some things you don't do to make your home cheaper. Never, ever, never, ever, ever, ever get a 15-year mortgage. Never. Don't do it. Don't get a 20. Don't get a 15. Don't get a 10. Always get a 30-year loan or a 40-year loan. And then we show you how to pay it off in 7. Never, ever get a 15-year loan. Just think about it, folks. If you're trying to save money, and that's what we're talking about today, because all the things, all the tips and tricks the bank uses to help us to save money, I want you to think about this. If you're, by using a bank product, if you're saving money, then who's losing money? If you use the bank's product to save money, who would have to be losing money? Go ahead and put it in the chat. Go ahead and put it in the comments. Who would have to be losing money if you're using a bank product to save money? All right. If you're saving money, who has to be losing it? Somebody has to write it. Go ahead. All right. Somebody. All right. All right. So Marco left a message. He had to jump off for work. All right. And he left a message for me. All right. And Marco, listen, man. If you're listening to this, hit me up on the back channel. Send me a private message on Facebook or something, and send me your phone number, and we'll get to your question. I
I
will
put his
answer
question
it.
online.
Okay, you got his question? Okay. Buying a house in Connecticut under contract and searching for a lender. All right. I would need to know, is it for personal use, or is it a rental? All right. If it's a rental, I can make that loan. If it's a business purpose loan, contact us. The P.I.L.L method does business purpose lending. All right. So I can do that. It's personal. All right. I got somebody for you. All right. I got a national lender. It's Nation Mac Mortgage, and that's owned by Jonathan Bing. Um, and um, and I can shoot you over his information. And he does it. In what state do you need it? What state do you need it, Marco? I see you say it's personal. What
I think
state do
he
you need
said
it?
Connecticut.
Connecticut? Okay, yeah, because he's in Jersey. So yeah, he can actually we can actually get you set up with Nation Mac Mortgage. And listen, he knows all the ins and outs. He knows my program. He is We're going to get it so that when you're setting up this loan, it's going to be awesome. All right, you can save money. So Nation Mac Mortgage, you can look them up online. All right, but uh, hit me up on my Instagram. Send me your go to ice10k.com. Go ahead and let's put that in the chat. Ice10k.com. And then you can hit me up on my Instagram or my Facebook or something, or send a private chat over. Send me your number. We'll get you hooked up. All right, folks, we're going to get started. All right. And somebody said, Jonathan Jones said the bank is the answer to my question. Folks, that would be right. If you're saving money using a bank product, the bank would have to be losing money. So my next question is, why would they do that? Why would the bank purposely lose money by giving you a product that helps them to lose more money? So when they offer you a 15-year mortgage, they're actually giving it to you, excuse me, so they can make more money. All right. So get a 30-year or a 40-year. All right. And test me on that. I'll show you the numbers. If you got any questions, come to the stage, raise your hand. I'm trying to watch the chat here. And let me go back to, we're going to go back to the stage here so I can see I was in the chat. And back to the stage. We got 34 people in here. I got 11 shares. Go ahead and share some more. Now, if you want to see these examples, click on my 10K card at the top of the room, ice10k.com, and you'll see a button there that's watch us live. If you want to go straight to YouTube on a separate device, I've actually found a way to separate out my YouTube video and have it running in the background, and have it up and have it up while I'm on Clubhouse, so I can watch everything at the same time. So folks, here we go. We're going to get started. I'm going to put this on the screen now, and There we go. All right. We're going to go over some things to show you how expensive it is to get a loan from the bank and what they're doing to make it expensive for you, even though you believe you're doing the best you can to save money. All right, this is how to pay off mortgages and all other debt in about 7 years. So now, folks, we're putting this on the screen. Here's where you're going to be able to find us at all times. P.I.L.L Method. You'll find P.I.L.L Method on Clubhouse, on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. All right. So here is, if you want, you can watch this. Take your phone out and take a screenshot of this. This is my 10K card. This is my 10K card. So go ahead and get my 10K card, screenshot it. You can save this info. I'm not mean screenshot. I meant scan it with the picture mode, and then you could actually save this information to your phone. Follow the instructions on how to add to home screen. Add to home screen, and you'll see a picture of me on your home screen, and you'll have all my information there with this information. So now, or you can just go to ice10k.com, and here is my website, pillmethod.com. Do yourself a favor, write down P.I.L.L Method. if you said, well, I've never heard of P.I.L.L Method. All right, so do this. Google P.I.L.L Method when you have opportunity. We take up most of the first 3 pages on Google, meaning P.I.L.L Method is more popular than birth control. Birth control is like page 3. All right. So that's how popular we are. And listen, over the years, trying to understand SEO, search engine optimization, our program is out there. And here's the other thing, folks. Here's the other thing. Name 3 businesses you already do business with. Name 3 businesses you already do business with, and do an internet search. See if there's anything negative out there about that business. That does not mean it's a bad business. Okay, that doesn't mean, but just try this as a test. See if anybody has anything negative to say about the business, even though it's a great business. And then look for someone who has actually used the P.I.L.L Method program who has something negative to say. We are proud to say, up till now, up to today, no one in 16 years has one negative word. And we have hundreds of thousands of clients. No one has anything negative to say about this program, ever. We are so very proud of that. We are blessed to be there, and we thank God for that. And we want to keep it that way, because we make sure before we bring somebody on, we make sure that they can be successful on the program, or we don't offer it to them. That's why when you go to my website, there's no way to purchase our program. We have to do an analysis, and you have to be recommended for our program before you can even come on. That's why we have so many people who are satisfied, and you won't find one dissatisfied person with our program. Here's the book. All right, and you're going to see another button that where you can actually get the book. All right, and before we get started on getting into the P.I.L.L Method, I want you to hear from one of our celebrity clients who's actually using the P.I.L.L Method for his own personal use and paid off his mortgage in just 4 years. His name is Dr. Eric Thomas. That's right. Your boy E.T., the hip hop preacher, paid off his mortgage in 4 years. I want you to listen and hear and watch him right now. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, and our team created the most powerful money management, wealth building, debt elimination system ever created. At our recent seminar in Nashville, Tennessee, the keynote speech was delivered by the #1 motivational speaker in the world, Dr. Eric Thomas. E.T., as he's also known, mentioned he paid off his mortgage in 4 years using the P.I.L.L Method. I invite you to watch and listen.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Did you hear that? No mortgage, no stress. If you would like to become debt and mortgage free within an average of 7 to 9 years by cutting your interest costs by up to 75%, go to PILLmethod.com and request a savings and earnings report today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get right back into it. And if you saw the video, you actually saw a picture of my wife and myself giving ET an autograph copy of my book. That was such an inspiring moment for me because I've been watching this man for years. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, if you want to get my book, go to ice10k.com and get it from Amazon. The things you're going to be learning today, my book is the only book on Amazon out of 33 million titles that talks about interest cancellation or how to read and understand an amortization schedule or what the bank is doing to us. Get the book today. All right, folks, here we go. We're getting started here. Now, 90% of the people you know with a mortgage will never own their home free and clear. Never. All right. You just think about it. All the people that you've ever met that have a mortgage, how many of those people, no matter how old they are, how many of those people have actually paid a mortgage off? Oh my goodness. There's something going on here that we need to know. All right. 30-year loans should pay off in 7 to 9 years on average. And you're going to be able to do this without these things. Without refinancing. You won't have to make a change to your budget. We're going to use your current budget to do this. Okay. And you're going to be able to do it without sacrificing lifestyle. Where will you not hear the information you're going to hear today? So you're going to be learning some things today about how all of this works and how the bank is taking more money than they need to take from us. And you don't have to give it over to them. But I tell you, here's where you will not get the information that you're hearing today. You will not get this information from your accountant, from your financial planner, or from your banker. You will not get it there. Don't even bother asking. I have over 140 videos, over 140 videos on YouTube, on Facebook right now that goes over this information and over it and over it. Watch the videos, okay? You're not going to get it anywhere else, not even on YouTube. This is the only place you're going to get it right here at the P.I.L.L Method company. P.I.L.L Method International is the only place you're going to get this information, okay? And you will not get it from these financial gurus. Not that they're not smart, not that they're not great. It's just that you will not get it from them because I own the copyright to the information. And they would have to ask for permission to share it. So it's not that they're not smart. They're doing what they do, and they've been doing it for a long time. They just can't give you what we're giving you because it only exists here. We own the copyright. All right. Now, here's what you need to also know. The ability to read. Come on, get it back here. All right. The ability to read and defeat an amortization schedule is not taught at any level of financial education. Just not. Okay. So what we're going to need to do is learn how to read that. Read an amortization schedule because that's the key to it all. That is how the bank uses this schedule to uses math and timing to charge exorbitant amounts of interest, even though we're not realizing it. And here's the thing, folks, I need you to write this down. If you're writing stuff down, we're not paying attention to the amount of interest we're consuming each month. That's the key to it all. We're not paying attention to the amount of interest we are consuming. Interest consumption is what's happening, and we can cut our interest consumption way down if we take control of the timing. I'll get into that a little bit. All right. So now, what's next? Here is the formula that that we use here at the P.I.L.L method to understand what's going on. Prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. When you understand these four basic principles, everything is surrounded by understanding prepayment of principal. And then when you understand isolating the principal amounts that are applied to principal payments, early principal payments, figuring out how much to pay, what is the least amount to pay, what is the right month to do it in, what is the right day of the month to do it on, and which loan do we attack to save the most amount of interest. There's a lot of math that goes into isolating the principal amounts. It's not just any old amount, folks. It's the right amount of money at the right time, at the right loan, at the right time of year. You don't do it every month even. This gets very, very complicated. All right. Then we talk about leverage. Okay. What is the smallest amount of money I can use to kill the largest amount of interest possible per dollar? The smallest amount of money I can use to kill the largest amount of interest. And then liquidity. How do we use all of our finances in every way, shape, form, whether it's a credit line, whether it's cash in the bank, whether it is equity in our homes. Listen, folks, how can we use this thing? You know, I heard a real estate investor today, all right, which was quite novel. Okay, real estate investor. It says, I'm only going to keep this. He buys a property, right? And this is a guy who's a fix and flipper. Okay, so he knows he's going to be into this thing maybe between 3 and 6 months. Now, he could, all right. This is one thing he pointed out today. He says he doesn't pay the taxes on the house. He doesn't pay the taxes on it. He uses that money to invest in the improvements of the house. All right. And then because when you don't pay the taxes on the house, you're actually borrowing that money at 1% a month. 1% a month in his state. So this says, okay, you didn't pay the tax. Now you owe the tax plus 1%. 1% a month is 12% annually. So he's taking that money and is putting it into the house. And then in 6 months at the sale, he'll pay the taxes then. After he uses the bank's money, he's now using the county's money, and they're lending it to him at 1%, and then he pays it back at the sale of the house. Oh my gosh, what a play. I love that. Never heard of it before, but you know, I'm writing that down. All right. So now wherever you can get liquidity, use it to your benefit. Here is the formula that makes all of this happen. The formula that the bank uses. Now, Albert Einstein called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. But folks, this is not compound interest. This is what's called amortized interest. Amortized interest makes way more money. Amortized interest, oh my gosh. Listen, it has to be the ninth wonder of the world, amortized interest. So banks make amortized interest in order for them to pay compound interest. That's where they get their money. I don't understand this formula. I just know that it makes them a ton of money. But we're going to learn how to beat them at their own game, so you're not paying all of that money to them. So if the bank has an algorithm, if the bank has a formula to make all this money, where's our formula to cut the interest cost? Okay, do we have one? Do we have the formula? Listen,
Can I share
uh,
the formula?
pl- will
Can
you
I
please,
share that formula?
credit goddess, credit goddess?
Yes.
I love it when you
Yes.
chime in. What do you got for us this morning?
Would you like for me to share that formula of how they're making all this money?
Oh my gosh. Listen, folks, when Credit Goddess shows you this, and then I show you how this is going to, how it leads into what we're getting ready to show you. I'm actually going to put it on the screen while she's going over this. Credit Goddess, are you ready? Okay.
I am ready.
All right. So I'm going to get out of this screen and I'm going to put up a different screen. All right. While you're doing that. And we're going to put up an amortization schedule while you're doing that. So, Credit Goddess, what numbers do you want me to use? Are you watching us
Oh,
online right now too?
I'm about to right now. Give me a second.
Okay. So we're going to get into how the bank is charging us all of that money. Oh my goodness, the air conditioning
I
came
got
back on. All right. So
it.
what numbers do you want me to put on?
Let's see. What's the average home cost, you guys in the audience? What prices are you guys seeing?
Okay, well, yeah, we'll put that
Anybody
we'll
in the
put the
chat?
home price in. The first one that puts a home price in, we'll put it in. All right, either online
Yes.
or in the chat. 500K, there it is. All right,
Okay. All right. So let's do
500K.
500,000.
All right, and we've got and the interest rate's right around 6% now, and they're talking about another either a full basis point or three quarters of it, 75 basis points or 100 basis points increase in the interest rates again from the Fed. So we're going to keep it at
Ooh.
6%. All right.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And that payment is $2,997.75. I'm going to scroll down to payment number one, Credit Goddess. While you go ahead and explain it, I'm going to put a calculator on the screen. And before Kurt says, Don, what is that noise in the background? I got to go turn the air conditioner off. I'll be right back. So you go ahead and start.
Okay. So guys, I'm not sure if you heard it from Don, but he said, or what we discovered, that you can actually pay off the mortgage um, much faster with a higher interest rate. Yes, with a higher interest rate. While many of you guys go and try to look for lower interest rate, that's great and all. If you're going to ride out the entire term, 30 years, but you can actually pay off the home sooner with a lower interest rate. And I'm not sure if he wants to do a split screen of lower interest rate or a higher interest rate, but I'm going to give you guys the formula. So here's the formula. This is how you calculate the amortization schedule. And we have the schedule right here to prove it. I learned this. If you guys are trying to figure this out, I actually paid attention in algebra class. You remember, you guys, where they say, well, how are we going to apply this in real life? Well, let me tell you, I paid attention. And when I saw, when, me getting in a credit space and having to explain to people the benefits of having good credit versus bad credit and what you're paying for, I was looking at those numbers and I'm like, how did they come up with this number? So I actually focused and like, you know what? Let me create the formula. And I thought really, really deep. I went all the way back, high school, and I found the formula. So here's the formula. You take the principal, what we're going to do is we're going to take the principal balance, which is the 500,000, and we're going to multiply that by 6%. Then we're going to take that number, which is the APR, because that's the APR for the year. We're going to divide it into 12 to determine what we're paying for the month, because we need to know what interest we're paying for that month on the monthly payment. Then we're going to take that interest and subtract it from the monthly payment, which you guys see here was 2,900. And then whatever that's left is what's going to go towards the principal balance. And then we're going to rinse and repeat for the following month. So let's do the numbers. 500,000. You got it. Let's do it, Don. We're going to take 500,000 and we're going to multiply that by 6%. What do you got?
30,000.
All right. That's 30,000 for the year. That's a lot. All right. We're going to divide it into 12 to determine what we're going to be paying for the month. And APR, you guys, that's the annual percentage rate, if you guys are wondering. So that's 2,500.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 2,500. Okay, so that's $2,500 is going to the bank out of your $2,900 payment. Let's subtract 2,500 from 29. What is that? 29. What's the monthly payment? 29.97.75.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's see.
And what do you have?
2997.75 minus 2,500 equals $497.75.
Okay, so out of the $2,997.75 payment that you're making for the month, 25 is going to the bank and $497.75 is going to the principal balance. Okay, and let's look at it on the amortization schedule. You see it? You see, you guys, that first principal payment? Hey, we're showing the work. We're showing the work. Okay, $497.75. You see that? And 2,500 went to the bank. But here is what Don is telling you, like how this is the ninth wonder and how they make so much money. Because if we're looking at the second line, we have $499,002.01. So we're going to be paying 6% on that remaining balance. And it's almost like you're paying 6% on a new mortgage every single month. That's amortized.
So, folks, I want to make this very clear. If you thought that you're paying 6% on the $500,000 and somehow they're taking that number, because listen, it's not that. What they're doing is taking 1/12 of the interest rate, multiplying it by the unpaid balance every single month. Every single month for 360 months. So it's not one mortgage, it's 360 separate mortgages. That's why it's so doggone expensive. So, folks, if you take a look at this thing, you're borrowing $500,000. Your payment is $29.9775, which is probably a cheaper than the rent for a comparable house. So you're saying, let's go ahead and get a house. But when you're making this kind of payment using amortization, too much of your payment goes to interest. And in this case, let's do a little bit more math. Credit Goddess, are you ready for this little bit more math? Okay, so we're going to take that
Yes.
very first interest payment for the month, okay, which is $2,500. Okay, when we divide it by the entire mortgage payment, okay, principal plus the interest, we're going to divide it by 2997.75. We get 83%. Folks, this particular mortgage payment, when you make this payment, 83% of your payment goes to interest. Let me put it to you this way. Out of every dollar that you're paying towards this mortgage, 83 cents of that dollar goes to the bank in the form of interest, and you're only paying your house down with 17 cents out of every dollar. That's what's happening. If you think that's fair, do you think that's unfair? For everybody that thinks that's unfair, put a number 9 in the chat. Put a number 9 in the chat if you think that when you make your mortgage payment, only 17 cents out of every dollar is going to the actual mortgage, and 83 cents of that dollar goes to the bank. Oh my gosh. Jonathan Jones says, listen, do you see what I'm talking about, folks? Do you see what I'm saying? We're not just making this up. We have been taught to live with it, even though it's a payment we can afford. This is why it takes so doggone long, because if you look at the principal payments here, all right, well, listen, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop for a minute and read some of these comments. All right. If you want to see this, folks, if you're new to the room, go to ice10k.com, the link at the top. Go to the link at the top. You'll see the button that says watch us live online. You can watch us live. If you want to go straight to YouTube, then you go to ice10kvideos.com, ice10kvideos.com, and go straight there. Wow, wow, wow. All right. So listen, this is mind-blowing stuff. This is not just a little annoyance, folks. Interest cost on these loans is a monster, and it's gobbling up, it's eating up your finances, even though you have a payment you can afford. Let's not get so enamored about getting that house, about getting the keys, that we forget about our interest consumption. Look at these payments. And look at the principal payments. Let me get this off the screen here. I'm going to minimize this, Mike. Look at the payments here. $497, $500. This is your mortgage payment. Mortgage payment has to do with how much you borrowed. Okay, you borrowed the principal. So when you pay the principal back, that's your mortgage payment. So out of that big payment, the only mortgage payment is these numbers over here, which are the principal payment. That's the real mortgage payment. These interest payments, that's nothing more than rent on your money. So you go from renting the house to renting the money for the house your entire lives. That's what is happening. So that's why this is why the title of the room. This is why we have the title of this room. Is the bank robbing us blind? And we don't even realize it because we're not looking at the interest cost. I want you to see for 1 year, this cumulative principal for 1 year. This is all the principal payments added up for 1 year on this loan. It comes to $6,140 and a penny. $6,140 and a penny. If you add up all the interest payments, what does that come to? What does that come to? Oh my gosh, $29,000, almost $30,000 in the first year. $30,000 in the first year. What in the world is going on here, folks?
Ice.
Yes.
Listen to that. We have to give them something to think about.
Okay.
The difference when, because I mean, can we name a vehicle that's $500,000? What vehicle costs 300? I don't know.
Listen,
what vehicle?
listen.
Can anybody type it in the chat?
Listen, I tell you what. When I was in, I think it was, where was I? In Texas, in Houston. I saw a Rolls Royce SUV. I didn't know they made them.
Oh wow!
A Rolls Royce SUV. So it had to be at least $500,000.
Right.
Okay. So what's your point? I saw a $500,000 car.
My point. Okay. So how many years do they give you to pay off that vehicle?
No more than 7 or 8.
Okay. What would be the payments on that?
Oh, a lot of money.
Right. But if we want to cheapen the monthly payment, what do? Because if they give us 5 years and we want to make the payments less, what do? Extend it. So when you think about your mortgage, okay, your mortgage, same cost as a Rolls Royce, but they're giving you 30 years. I want you guys to think about it. They give you 30 years to pay it off. is because they're benefiting from you paying off in 30 years. But what Don is going to show you is how you can stretch it out in 30 years, but you can pay it off in 7 to 9. Same time that you can pay off a vehicle with the same amount, right?
And not even hurt yourself.
And not hurt yourself, right?
All right,
Yeah.
so I want to show you. I'm going to show you guys just a little bit more. So listen, we got 19 shares, we got 2 clips, and I have how many people we have in the room right now? We got 49 people in here. Can we listen? We got to at least get to can we get to at least 40 shares? Can we get to 40 shares? Share it out in the hallway so people can see this. Listen, are we being robbed blind? Are we being robbed blind? Are banks robbing us blind? Are they using an amortization schedule? Listen, they're using a pen to rob us blind. But guess what, folks? There's some good news that's in here. You don't have to pay all of this interest. I'm going to show you how not to pay it. But right now, we have to make the point that right now we have accepted paying all of this interest as part and parcel because everybody's doing it and nobody has challenged it. No one is challenging it. This is why we're paying all of this interest and we don't have to. So let me show you something. If we look at this, $29,800, folks, that's about $36,000 paid out in the first year. Your hard-earned money, whether it's rents received or money from your W-2, doesn't matter. That's $36,000 paid out in the first year. And only out of all of that money, only $6,140 and a penny goes to pay down the house. The rest went to the bank. How fair is that? Oh my gosh. How fair is that? So I'm going to show you a little bit more. Now, why am I spending so much time here? Why am I spending so much time here? Because every single person that's on the internet right now, somebody sent me something from a guy the other day. And he's actually saying that there are certain times when you don't want to pay your mortgage off faster because of the times we're in. I'm not even going to get into the what he was talking about, but here's what he's not doing, folks. When you're listening to these people online or in their books or whatever they're saying, and they're talking about if there's a time, says now he's saying there's a time not to accelerate the payoff on the mortgage. Because here's the thing, they're not doing this. They're not taking a look at how much it costs to manage the mortgage. They can't. If they knew what you knew right now, it makes no sense to pay this kind of money to pay the mortgage down to pay out $36,000 just so you can pay your mortgage down by $6,000. It makes no sense to do that when you can avoid it. All right? It makes no sense to do that. You have to pay attention to how much interest you're paying in a year. Watch this. This is in 2 years. Look at this. In 2 years, we're going to pay this mortgage down by $12,600. It's going to cost nearly $60,000 to pay it down. When you add it together, okay, that's $72,000 paid out in 2 years, but you only get $12,600 out of it. $72,000 paid out in 2 years. There are people out there right now that are telling you you do not have to accelerate this loan. You know why? Because they're looking at how fast to pay it off. With the P.I.L.L method, we don't look at how fast to pay it off. We look at how cheaply we can pay it off. It is how cheap. Remember, I had you put cheap in the chat and in the comment section. How cheap can we pay it off? That is the deal. Get some more people in here. Listen, share it online. Share it on Clubhouse. Keep sharing it. I want to get 100 people in here so that they can see what's really going on behind the scenes on these mortgages. All right. So now, before I show you how we're going to keep from doing this, I want to show you something else. All right. So we're going to go back to, let me see here. I'm going to pull back up my, there it is. We're going to put that back on the screen. All right. We're going to put back on the screen our PowerPoint. All right. And I want to show you something about this. Why is it this way? Here's what bank owners do not want you to know. All right. Here's what bank owners don't want you to know. Do not, and I want to be very clear. I really do love the bank. They have a product that I need and that I use. I use their product. They lend me money. Cash is not king in this society. A wise use of somebody else's money is what matters. So I just don't want to pay them retail for their money. I want to pay them wholesale for their money. Okay. All right. So here's what we're talking about. Here's what bank owners don't want you to know. You know, amortized interest is actually deceptive. They don't want you to know that when you get an amortized loan, they don't want you to know how deceptive that is. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. The interest rate you're quoted is not the interest rate you pay. Credit Goddess, I want to thank you for what you set this up perfectly. Okay. The interest rate you're quoted is not the interest rate you pay. And folks, if you have a question or comment, raise your hand. Credit Goddess, will you please watch the stage for me and bring these folks up? Kurt, can you watch the stage for me? Bring them up because I'm going to be fixated on this thing for a minute. Okay. And I'm going to try to get to the in the chat as well and pay attention to that. All right. So here we go, folks. Here we go. All right. Let me see here. I messed up here. I got to get back to our screen. There we are. And there it is. Okay. So now the people who work at the bank don't understand how amortization schedules work any more than you do. In fact, when we are done here, and I saw a party hat, which means they've been on Clubhouse. The party hat has been on Clubhouse less than a week, right? Less than a week. And that's what is that? Mike Erlene. All right, Mike Erlene. If I'm pronouncing your name correctly, welcome to Clubhouse. You've been on less than a week. I want to tell you, by the time I'm through with this, you're going to know more about how these loans work than the people who sell the loans. They don't understand it either. Okay, because they didn't take my class. All right. So here's where we okay, I got to get back to amortized interest is deceptive. The interest rate you quoted is not the interest rate you pay. Watch this. Here's the same $500,000 loan, folks. The same $500,000 loan. We've got it on the screen at 3% instead of 5%. All right, at 3% instead of 5%. Let's see here. My screen hesitated. And now I'm behind. All right. So anyway, it's at 3% instead of 5%. Watch this. All right. And they want total interest paid $258,887.20. Total interest plus principal $758,000. That's a lot of money. All right. That's a lot of money, right? And the amount of interest that they want is 51% of the principal borrowed, even at 3%. Folks, 3% is not really 3%. 3% is really 51%, 51.777%. What? And everybody wants to get a 3% loan. Credit God has mentioned that it's probably easier to pay off this loan at 6% than it is at 3%. We're going to show you that before it's all over. Before it's all over. All right. So let's see. 9:30. All right. So here we go. Now, here's that same $500,000 at 4%. Okay. It's going to be 359,000 paid back. $359,348.80 paid back. That's 71% of what you borrowed. 71.870%. At 5%, you're going to pay back $466,279. That number is 93.256% of the money borrowed. 93%. At 6%, oh my goodness, you're borrowing $500,000. At 6%, you're going to pay back over 30 years $579,190. That means you're going to pay more in interest than the money borrowed. 115.838%. If you're from Bermuda and you're on the stage right now, if you're from Bermuda or you know somebody in Bermuda, my Bermudian friends pay 7%, which means on a $500,000 loan, it would be $697,000 paid back. You know the average price for a home in Bermuda is over $1 million. So if they borrowed $1 million in Bermuda, it's going to take over $1 million in interest to pay for that loan. 139%. Okay. If you got $1 million loan in Bermuda, you would have to pay $1,390,000 interest on that loan over 30 years. Man, oh man. And you know, we didn't get into this system until 1934, how we pay back these loans. It started in 1934. So this system is only 88 years old. And for 88 years, it's not been part of the school system to understand how these loans work. Why am I so adamant about this? Because, folks, that's still way too long for us to go into this situation where we're buying our home and paying this kind of interest cost, not the interest rate, but the interest cost for the home, even though the payment is cheap enough, but the cost is still too high. The cost is way too high. What are we going to do about it? I'm going to break down a $300,000 loan for the first 10 years. Watch this. For the first 10 years, $300,000. And the very first month on this loan, $1,062.50 goes to interest. $413.32 goes to principal. In the first year, $12,652.42 goes to interest. In the first 10 years, just the interest payment, in the first 10 years, $115,428.11 just in interest alone. Oh my goodness. And this is just at 4.25. This is 4.25. This is not the 6% we're being charged now. This is at 4.25. 4.25. In the first 10 years, how much goes to principal? $61,670.29. Now, when you add them together, of your hard-earned money, whether you're a real estate investor or you're a W-2 employee and you're paying this money out for your family's home. It's a payment you could afford. You can well afford it. You're doing well, but it's still $177,098.40 paid out in the first 10 years. And out of that money, only $61,000 of that goes to you. If you think that's a lot of money to give to the bank, put a yes in the chat. Put a yes in there. Okay. Um, Credit Goddess, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Listen, I, I I want to. I, I'm trying to find the right words to talk about how what a huge what a huge problem this is. But we have accepted it over the years, and because nobody's pointing it out, we don't see it as a problem. I mean, do you have some words that I don't have to help us to see that?
No, you said enough. You said enough. They don't teach us this in school, and what is presented to us, especially when we're financing, we think that's what it is. But when you come in and you actually break it down, like what goes on the back end and how banks are making money on financing, and then we have to also accompany that with people not knowing the math, because this is, like you said, it's not magic, it's math, right?
Yeah,
And if we don't know the math, then and we present it to them, it's like I've seen a couple of emojis with the mind blown. Yeah, because we're used to people telling us what it is that we need to do instead of questioning it or trying to figure out how it is, how is that possible. Like I remember when I first got uh, my dream car, and I was paying 19% on a vehicle. It was a $15,000 sticker price. But when I signed the papers, it said that I was going to be paying 25,000 in the course of the 5 years. After paid off, it would have been 25,000. I saw the number, and even though I did question in my mind how, but you know what I said to myself? Oh, that's just the cost of financing, instead of understanding how did they come up with this number, and if you guys paid attention in math, I know your math teacher told you to show the work, right? So we
right.
need to start thinking about like how that works, right, instead of just going with the flow. Yeah.
All right, folks. Here, listen. Justin raised his hand. I'm sorry I missed that, Justin. So if you can hear me, we're trying to invite you up to the stage so that you can. He probably had to go out and come back in because of it's glitchy. So, folks, we're talking about how expensive it is to borrow money even at low interest rates. So at 4.25 in the first 10 years, $115,000 of your hard-earned money goes to interest. That's way too much. Way too much. All right. So now I'm going to go in. Right now, we have to do a quick reset. Okay, a quick reset. You're in the mortgage syndicate this morning, and in the mortgage syndicate, um, the P.I.L.L method is guest hosting in the mortgage syndicate because this is so powerful. Do you know Jonathan Bing, who allows us to who set this up, um, is a mortgage lender. Okay, and he also teaches people how to become a mortgage lender. And in his course is the only course I know of in the entire world that teaches mortgage lenders how a mortgage actually works. Because he's brought me in to teach the P.I.L.L method to the students of lending. All right, so that they can become an MLO, a licensed mortgage professional, or they can become and also they can become a loan broker, a um, a loan broker, brokering loans for real estate investments. So if you can become a licensed a licensed loan officer, so that you can do residential, or you can become a broker and do business purpose loans. Whatever you're doing, they have a course for that. And his course is the only one I know of that teaches the loan officers actually how a loan actually works. If you have a mortgage already, that means you had to go through, somebody had to pre-approve your loan. You had to work with a loan officer somewhere. I guarantee you, they don't understand any more about how a loan works than you do. You're going to know more than them. That is a fact after today. So if you want to know more about this, if you want to know how not to pay all of that money to the bank, you see how huge this is. You see how huge the numbers are. If you want to know how not to give them all of that money, I need you to put a number 9 in the chat right now. Go ahead. Start putting a number 9 in the chat. I'm going to close this down so I can see what's going on. All right, we're going to get out of this right now. Put a number 9 in the chat if you want to know how not to give that to them. And Credit Goddess also mentioned that at a higher interest rate, it's going to be easier to pay off the loan than a lower interest rate. Here's another thing you don't want to do. If listen, right now, all the professionals are telling you this. Go ahead and get the investment property now, even though the interest rates are higher. Go ahead and get your personal home now, even though the interest rates are higher. But they won't stay this way. When they go down, refinance out of that and get a lower interest rate. Don't you believe it? Don't do it. You're not putting yourself in a better position if you refinance just to get the lower interest rate. Now, that's another thing. If you're cashing out to invest that money, that's another thing. All right. But if you're just wanting to get a lower interest rate, don't do it. If you can afford the payment where it is, keep it, because with the P.I.L.L method, you're going to be better off with a higher interest rate than the lower one. I'm going to show you both right now. Right now, we're going to show you right now. So let's get
Can
into
we
this.
show it,
Go ahead.
Don? Don,
Yes.
can we show it with the? Can we show it with the other example, with the same example, the 500,000, so they can see the numbers?
Okay. I got it back on the screen.
All right, and I'll do
Okay.
that formula, and we show the side by side.
Okay. So I'm going to do I've got this, and I showed the 500,000 at 6%. I showed the
Mm-hmm.
500,000 at 3%. So we're going to duplicate this
Okay.
tab. Okay. And then I'm going to change this to 3%. Okay. And we're going to take a look at that. We're going to take this payment out. Okay. Take the payment out. Come on. I didn't mean to hit that. I wanted to hit the delete. Take the payment out. Okay. And then we got that. All right. Now we're going to start with the $500,000 loan at 6%. We are going to learn how to read this amortization schedule right now so that you can save money. Here's the thing, folks. The reason why this thing is not taught in school, I'm going to give you the main reason why it's not taught. Because the same amount of interest that they're charging you, you can save it. The same amount of interest that they're charging you, you have the ability to save money at the same exorbitant rate they're charging you. If you want to know how to do that, I see the number 9. It says, oh, Roxy wants to know, what exactly are you looking at? All right. If you're new to the room, go to the up at the top and go to ice10k.com. Click on that link, and you can see where you can watch us live. Okay. Click the button that says live, and you can see us on YouTube, on Twitter, on LinkedIn and Facebook. Or you can just go to any one of those four and search Pill Method, and it will bring you to it will take you to that screen, and then you can just click on the live. All right, watch us live there. All right, somebody put it in the chat, ice10kvideos.com or ice10k.com, either one, and you'll take put that in there so you can watch us live on screen. So I'll say it one more time. We're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. And all you have to do is go to the one of those four, which is whatever one is favorite for you, and then you can search Pill Method, P-I-L-L, first word, second word, method, METHOD. Search it, and it'll take you there so you can watch it. Oh, here we go. All right. So if you're new to the room, do that. Listen, folks, I have right now, I've got 40 people, 42 people in here right now. All right. I've got 27 shares. Can I get to 35 shares while I'm going through this? Somebody want some credit, guys? You had something? Did you
Nope,
want to say?
nope. I'm just waiting on you.
Okay. All right, I just had to get a drink of water. All right, here we go. All right, let's get to, I'm at 28 shares. Let's get to 35 shares while I show you how to read this thing and how you don't have to pay all of this interest. Now, here's the other thing, folks. These are just the basics. My program uses a computer to optimize how much interest you can save per dollar. The right amount of money in the right month on the right day of the month is so very important. This isn't all that we do, okay? This isn't all we do, but this lets you know that what we do does work. We take what I'm getting ready to show you, we even magnify this and save even more money than I'm getting ready to show you. Are you ready? Here we go. The very first payment on this, the very first payment, your payment is $2,997.75. The very first payment, $497.75 goes to principal. 2,500 goes to interest. All right. So when we subtract the $497.75 from the principal, we're left with $499,502.25. That's how much we're left with that we still have to pay. The bank uses this principal balance to figure out how much interest we pay on line 2. I'm going to do a shortened version of what Credit Goddess does to figure out, so I can show you that we can save money at the same rate the bank is charging us. Okay? If we take the 6% interest rate, okay? The 6% interest rate, and divide that by 12. Okay? Divided by 12, we get 0.005. If we take this number and multiply it by the 499,502.25, because this is what the bank is doing. So we're going to multiply that by 499,502.25. It equals 2497.51. $2,497.51. You can see the interest cost right here. There it is. That's how they do it. They take 1/12 of the interest rate, multiply it by the unpaid balance 360 times. That's how powerful this is for the bank. I'm going to show you how powerful this is for you. Let's make, all right, so you're making the mortgage payment in January. Let's say you were making the mortgage payment in January, and you make the very first payment. All right, Credit Goddess, are you available to help us out?
I am.
Good. All right. All right. I made my first payment in January. All right. I don't owe any more money till February, correct?
Nope.
Okay. What is, by looking at this schedule, can you see February's principal payment? Can you see it?
I can.
Okay. How much is February's principal payment?
$524.
Okay. Now, do I have to wait to February to give the bank that money?
No, you don't.
If I had it, could I give it to them in January as well? I've already made my regular payment. Can I give them the $500.24? Can I give that to them in January as well?
Yes, you can.
And when I do, does all $500.24 go to principal?
Yes.
Then if that's the case, I'm paid down to line 2 on this schedule where I owe $499,002 and a penny. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And my next mortgage payment for February is now on what line of this schedule?
Line 3.
You mean I got rid of line 2, not
You
for
got lot. Yep,
$2,900. I just got rid of it for $500.
you got rid of it for $500. So you saved $2,497.51.
Wait a minute. I think if you're new to the room, I need you to get this. By paying the $500 early, $500.24 early, you saved exactly $2,497.51 in interest you never have to pay. Is that correct, Credit Goddess?
That is correct.
So you are saving at the same rate the bank wants to charge you. Oh my goodness. Listen, somebody needs to put something in the chat. If you like this information so far, somebody needs to put something in the chat right now what do you got to say about this information?
But
Listen,
you know
this
what?
is
They would. But
what
you know
Credit
what?
Goddess? What?
You know what?
What?
They're going to be wowed if we
Yeah.
show them the 3%.
Okay. I got some. Let me finish this out and then we're going to show them the 3%.
Okay.
I promise to show
Okay.
them the 3% before we're done. I promise. Okay?
Okay.
So
Yep.
watch this, folks. Watch this. When I do all of this for you, I'm going to show you that if you can afford this, what the experts are telling you is that if somebody offered you like 3%, you need to take it. Don't refinance. You need to call us first. Do the numbers. Don't just do something because it sounds good. Do the numbers instead. So Credit Goddess, what about this? What about this? I got a couple of bucks in the bank, right? I got a couple of bucks in the bank. I just made my
Yep.
January payment. And I'm looking at this because of what you just taught us. I'm looking at the amortization schedule. I'm looking at the principal payment for line 2, line 3, and line 4, a little over $1,507. A little over $1,508 when you add it all up. $1,508
Mm-hmm.
almost. Okay. What if I had that in the bank? Could I make my regular mortgage payment and add $1,500 to this?
Yes, you
To
can.
my principal? What would
Mm-hmm.
happen to the interest on line 2, line 3, and line 4? What would happen to that?
Canceled.
Canceled. And my next mortgage
Canceled.
payment is on what line of this schedule?
Line 5.
My goodness. Folks, are you hearing? Listen, if I was in my studio, I would have all kinds of horns and and clapping and cheering going on. And listen, thank you so much for that. Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Oh my goodness. I see fire emojis. I'm seeing listen, I see thumbs up online. Okay, Merle White Howard is saying that Mrs. Dixon says, I'm in awe. Miss Thurman says, God is good. I have praise hands going up from Facebook. Oh my goodness. Listen, folks, we are here giving you this information to help you. And Brenda Jackson just said, OMG. Oh my gosh, for $1,500. Okay, for $1,500, that is over. Let's see, that's like almost $7,500 in interest you never have to pay. All right, folks, here we go. I'm going to show you the big one now. I'm going to show you the big one. Here's another thing. All right, real estate investors, homeowners, I got something for you. Roxy said, I did this 2 years ago. It works. Oh, here you go. Thank you, Roxy. Thank you. So, folks, here's what we need to do. All right, and I want to preface this. Just because you have a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean that you need to throw it all at the mortgage. There is a point at which more is too much. Our program helps you to figure that out. If you want to know more about how to put the right amount of money on the debt, I need you to do this. Okay, we're going to put this on the screen. We're going to interrupt the show right now before we finish it up. You need to go to ice10k.com, click on the link that says get a savings and earnings report. And when you click on that link that says get a savings and earnings report on ice10k.com, right? Get a savings and earnings report, follow all of the directions, and you will know the month, day, and year you could be debt free and how much interest you could save. And we have a computer program that tells you exactly how much money to pay, what month to pay it in, what day of the month to pay it on, so that you can kill even more interest than we're talking about right here. How would you like to do more than what I'm showing you? Because it takes a computer to figure it all out. I mean, even this is a lot. But if you want to do more and you want to get your loan even cheaper so that you can put more money to principal and be done in 7 to 9 years, you actually need to do specific things at specific times. And our computer program figures it all out for you. All right. Now, here we go. All right. So, folks, watch this. I'm looking at month 12 on this. Month 12. All right. We have it is right now, it is 10 minutes after the hour. We're going to be done at the bottom of the hour. All right. At 11:30 Eastern time, we're going to be done. And by that time, I'm going to show you how this loan is actually better than a 3% loan. But watch this. All right. So at the end of 12 months, if we add up all the principal payments here, and this is the thing that all the other gurus online are not doing. They're not adding up all of the interest paid. And when they're making these statements about do not accelerate the payoff on your mortgage, there are certain times when you don't do it. I can't think of a time not to save money. Okay. You can save money and make money all at the same time. Save money and make money all at the same time. But watch this. At the end of 1 year, at cumulative principal here, you're going to pay down this loan by $6,140 and a penny. Okay. And it's going to, if you add up all the interest costs for the year, it costs $29,832.99. Credit Goddess, please help me here. Okay. And what I want to ask is, if I already know I've got to give this to at least this much to the bank, I got to give it to them because I borrowed it. Okay. But if I have, what I found. Stop it. Okay. Siri started trying to talk to me. All right. Stop it, Siri. We're not talking. All right. So we got $6,140 and a penny. Do I have to pay that over 12 monthly installments?
No, you don't.
If I had it, could I give it to the bank all at once?
Yes, you can.
All right. So now we started out at 500,000, right? I'm going to put it on the screen. $500,000. And we're going to pay $6,140 and a penny. I could, if I have it, I could give it to them all at once, or I can pay it over 12 months and give the bank a lot of interest in the meantime. But let me subtract
You can pay it all at once.
$6,140 and a penny. Okay, what'd you say, Credit Goddess?
No, I said you can pay it all at once.
Okay, let's subtract that all at one time. $6,140 and a penny. equals 493,859.99. That's exactly the same number that's right here on line 12. It's exactly that number. Folks, if you had that money, you could give it to the bank in 1 month. You would be paid down to line 12 in 1 month, Credit Goddess. Is that true?
That is true.
And what would happen to all the interest costs between line 2 and line 12?
They will save $29,832.99.
Are you kidding? My good.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, folks, do you see how we've been conditioned to give the bank all of this money just by making the minimum payments? And we could take just a little bit of money. You don't have to give them $6,000. If you gave them like $3,000, you would save half the interest. That's like 15 grand. If you gave them a quarter of the of that, okay, that's you can give them a quarter of 6,000. That's like 2,000. That would save you like $7,000 in interest. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we if we knew how this process worked? Do you see why now? It is not taught at any level of financial education anywhere. Not in grade school, not in middle school, not in high school, not in college, not in advanced courses, not as if you are a real estate agent, if you are a loan officer, if you're a financial planner, even if you're a CPA. You're not taught this. By prepaying, how much interest you actually are saving. And you can narrow this down so that you can pay the right amount of money at the right time, depending on your family, your business, or your church. Did you know if your church has a mortgage, did you know your church can be paid off in 5 to 7 years without extra giving from the members? You don't have to pay extra to pay off your church early. You whatever the normal giving is for your church, I can show you how to use that to pay a lot less interest. So more of the money that you're paying goes to principal without doing pledge cards, without doing drives, without doing chicken dinners. You can pay the church off early with what you're paying right now, so that you can put that extra money that you're raising into ministry and not giving it to the bank. Oh my goodness. If there are any churches out there with mortgages, if there are any pastors that are listening to me, if you think you need your pastor, whoever he or she is, you need to let them see this. Make sure that they see this video. Share it far and wide. Okay. Now, in the last 15 minutes, we're going to go over what Credit Goddess talked to you about. And what I said, if you can afford this payment and you're doing well by prepaying these principal payments, don't refinance it to the lower interest rate. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And here's why. I'm going to show you the numbers. Okay, we got 500,000 here at 6%. We have $500,000 here at 3%. Let's take a look at the difference. Don, the payment is lower at 3%. It's lower at 3%. Yeah. I see that. Let's go back to the 5. Yeah, it's $2,990, almost $3,000 a month. And at 3%, it's $2,100, $2,108.02. Well, yeah, that's true. Let's take a look at the summary. Don, look at this. At 500,000 over 30 years, the bank wants 258,000 in interest paid. At 6%, the bank wants What? $579,000 in interest paid. They want more money in interest than I paid in principal. More money. Don, why wouldn't we refinance to the lower interest rate? Because, folks, these are the numbers that they let you see that convince you that getting the lower interest rate is going to be better. Okay. Miss Dixon wants to know, while I'm doing this, what prevents the bank from applying your payments to interest? Because, Miss Dixon, you cannot apply payments to interest. It's impossible. Interest is charged based on how much principal you owe. Okay. It's based on how much principal you owe. So if you owe less principal, you pay less interest. It's as simple as that. Okay. So they can't apply it. They can't ever apply it. Take your money and say, we're going to take all your money and we're going to apply it. We're only going to use it for interest payments. They have to apply it to principal if you direct them to. If you are escrowing if you're escrowing, meaning your principal, your mortgage, what is it that I'm looking for? Your taxes and insurance. If your taxes and insurance are a part of your payment, then you do have to let them know not to put that in escrow, but to apply it to principal. If you're paying your taxes and insurance on your own, then there's only one place to put that money. If you're not escrowing, it's only one place to put it. It can only go to principal. If you're escrowing, you do have to point it out. This is where I want the money to go. Okay, that's number one. Now, let's take a look at what's going on here. Now we're going to zero in on what we need to be looking at if we refinance to the lower interest rate. Let's go over to the higher interest rate. Let's take a look at this now. Do you see your principal payments? They start out at $497. They go to $500. They go to $502. We pointed out that all you have to do on this to knock out $24.97 in interest, you just prepay the $500.24. We already established that. Okay. If you want to get rid of 12 months worth of mortgage payments, you can prepay the $6,140 and a penny. You can do all of that at once. And if you do this in January, your next mortgage payment in February is actually on line 13 of your schedule. You knock off a whole year if you prepay that money. Okay? Watch what happens when you lower the interest rate. Are you ready? We're going to lower the interest rate to 3%. I'm going to show you here. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to start it all over. Okay? We're going to take the payment out. Okay? All right. We're going to take this out, delete it. We're going to delete the payment, delete. And we got 500,000 at 3% for 360 months. We're going to recalculate this. And this is our payment, $2,108. Look at the payment now. Look at the payment now. Look at how much money you have to come up with now to eliminate one payment. Look at it now. Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see how much money it takes now to eliminate one payment? Do you see what? Now we were we use $6,100 over here to get rid of 12 payments. And when you lower the interest rate, look at what $6,100 does for you here. This is close as we can get to $6,100 right here. It takes out about 7 payments instead of 12. Do you all see this? If you can afford the payment, don't you dare refinance just to get the lower interest rate. You actually make it harder to pay the loan off sooner. Folks, I don't have the air conditioning on. I'm almost sweating here. Just trying to emphasize to you how important it is to save all of this interest. My client who has this same loan is going to cut their interest costs by about 75%. So most of their money would go. Now I'm going to give you a kind of a example here. Um, um, let me see here. I think I had. Let me stop to share. Let me see if I have a $500,000 mortgage somewhere in here where we actually did this for a client. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing right here. All right, and okay, all right. So we're gonna stop that. I'm gonna bring up. Let me see if I can bring up. Um, let me see here if I can bring one up before we go. There it is. All right, 500,000. Close this out. All right. I can't find one. I thought I had one in here where we did one recently for 500,000, but I can't find one. All right. But I'm going to give you an idea. I'm going to give you an idea. So let's get this off the screen. All right. And for some reason, let's see here. There we go. Get that off the screen. All right. So I'm going to bring this back up. And so you can see this. We're going to share this. Okay. Don't send. Share screen. And put this back on. All right. We're going to share this back. Okay. So we have, I'm going to show my calculator here. Okay. 58,887. All right. Okay. Instead of paying 258,000, my client is only going to pay about $80,000 in interest on this loan. Only about $80,000 in interest on this loan. Wow. Okay, so we got Valerie T. In the chat. All right. So she says, so you're still paying the same monthly amount. That is correct. All right. You're still paying the same monthly amount. That doesn't change when you have taxes and etc. in escrow. Correct. You just don't have to pay as much to pay at the end of the loan. Meaning, yes. So I need you to think about it this way. Okay. I need you to think about it this way, Valerie. The way the bank wants you to pay this loan down, no matter how you look at it, to pay it from $500,000 down to here, they want to charge you, other loan, okay, at the 6%. To pay it from point A to point B, right here, they want to charge you $29,832.99. Okay. Your savings is not at the end. Your savings is instant. Here's what I mean. When you pay your mortgage down, you are creating equity right now. Okay. So in 1 year, if you do it the bank's way, you just created $6,140 and a penny worth of equity. But it costs you, if you do it their way, it costs $29,832.99 to get that equity. If you pay the $6,140 up front all at once, you're paid down to here in 1 month. You get all of that equity in 1 month, but you don't pay $29,000 for it. You pay $2,500 for it. That is a savings of $27,361.06 worth of interest savings to accomplish the same thing. So you get the same equity for a lot less money. Folks, that's a savings right now. That's a savings right. If you sold the house right now, you would get that equity, the $6,140 in equity. Okay. You would get that right now, but you wouldn't have to pay $29,000 in interest to get it. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about. So let me finish what you have here, Miss Valerie T. Meaning the amount you pay monthly is still essentially the same, but you're applying it to your principal. Whatever extra monies we find, you are applying it to principal. That is correct. So D online is asking, so if the taxes and insurance are escrowed, does that mean I can't make an interest only payment? You can't you can't do an interest only payment unless your loan is set up for interest only. Okay? Your loan has to be set up to make an interest only payment. Interest only payment means this, 200 Chuck. So if your loan was set up for interest only, I want you to take a look online here that your interest only payment would be $2,500 each month. Okay. So at the end of 1 year, you would have 12 payments of $2,500. So that'd be 12 times 2,500 equals $30,000. So you'd have $30,000 that you have paid to the bank, but you would still owe $500,000. That's what an interest only payment does. Now, that's a whole nother class. I love interest only payments. In fact, maybe I'll go over that next. Why I love interest only payments on loans. Oh my goodness. Maybe we'll go over that when we come back on on Wednesday when we come back. Would you guys like to see that? Would you guys like to see how we do interest, why I love interest only payments? Anybody want to see that? If you do, put it in the chat. Oh my gosh, we're almost done. Please explain escrow. Okay. Is it better to pay on your own or keep it in? Listen, I love paying the taxes and insurance on your own. I love paying taxes and insurance on your own. I can actually show you how you can save more interest by paying your taxes and insurance on your own. Maybe I could do that too. Let's make a note. Let's make a note. Okay. Let's make a note on Wednesday. We can talk about paying the mortgage, interest only payments. All right. I'm making a note. Interest only payments, and how you can pay your taxes and insurance on your own and save more money. Folks, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for sharing the room. I want to thank you for putting this out here. I also want to thank you. I want to thank all of you for being with us today. But I need your help to get this information out. I need you to buy the book. I need you to share the book with others. Tell them all about this. This thing with the interest cost, we've been hit with it too much and too long. It is horrendous. Interest cost is a monster that is eating up all of your resources, and you can stop it. You can. We're going to hear our last word. All right. So, Credit Goddess, give us about 30 seconds about who you are, because I got to go. Let's give them about 30 seconds so you can tell them how to get a hold of you, since you did such a great job helping me out. Please, if you're available. Maybe you're not. All right. She's probably not available. So, folks, here we go. I'll see you on Wednesday. We're going to talk about those two things. I'm going to make a note so we can talk about how interest-only loans, how they work, and how great they are, how I think they're great, and how you can go ahead and pay your taxes and insurance on your own. And somebody else says here, yes, I would like to see interest-only payment demonstration. We're going to do that. And everybody's just saying, yes, thank you very much, Kurt. Thank you, everybody. The last words today going out to Eric Thomas. I will see you all on Wednesday when I'm back in my studio. Thank you so very much. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, and our team created the most powerful money management, wealth building, debt elimination system ever created. At our recent seminar in Nashville, Tennessee, the keynote speech was delivered by the #1 motivational speaker in the world, Dr. Eric Thomas. E.T., as he's also known, mentioned he paid off his mortgage in 4 years using the P.I.L Method. I invite you to watch and listen.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Did you hear that? No mortgage, no stress. If you would like to become debt and mortgage free within an average of 7 to 9 years by cutting your interest costs by up to 75%, go to pillmethod.com and request a savings and earnings report today.